Okay, Shalom. Shalom, Yasha Allah. Shalom, Shalom. Today we're going to go into the Torah portion for this week, which is Waahthachaanan, which is Waahthachaanan, meaning I entreated. When Moses talks about how he entreated Yahweh for his favor and grace. Okay. Go ahead and invite your friends, your family, your foes. Okay, invite people to come and hear the word of Yahweh, literally, his Torah, his laws and his statutes. Okay, for our people to learn and hear. Okay. So we're coming out the Torah, which is the foundation of, our identity as a covenant people with the Most High Power, Yahweh. Shalom Regalia, Dawada, Shalom Asha Rauka, y saludos, Shalom a nuestra hermana, con nosotros del país de Colombia, de la tribu de Ashar, la hermana Zamara, Yahweh le bendiga, el Altísimo, el Todopoderoso. Hoy entramos a la porción cuarta de la Torah. Today we enter into the fourth Torah Aliyah for the Torah portion of Waahthachaanan, Waahthachaanan, which is for Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 1 through 21 in the regular King James Bible, and verses 1 through 18. So all praise to Yahweh. You are now in tune with the central Torah authority of Yashar Allah, coming from the children of Israel, Banya Yashar Allah, of the Torah. I'm reading to you from Devarim 4:44. My next statement is coming from Deuteronomy 4:44. We are studying the Torah Banya Yashar Allah, which is the Torah, the law of the children of Yashar Allah, being brought to you by Banya Yashar Allah, the children of Yashar Allah. Who better to bring forth the understanding of the Torah of the children of Yashar Allah than those who represent the children of Yashar Allah and the Torah of Yahweh and Hamashiach, Yahushai, and Chakma, wisdom. All right, so we're going to go through these 18 verses. Shouldn't take too long. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and if you don't mind, share this to your page and invite your friends, brothers and sisters in and listen to what thus saith the word of Yahweh. Okay, so Go ahead and hit that share button at the bottom. All right, hit that share button. Shalom Yazar. Lacham. All right. War bread. Shalom. Shalom. Hallelujah. So we're going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 5, and we're going to read verses 1 through 21 and bring forth the understanding from the law of Yahweh. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1. And Moshe called all Yasharallah and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. You see? So we learn them, keep them, and do them. So we have to learn. That means we have to be taught the laws of Yahweh, not just taught about our nationality, not just taught about Christ being black, but we have to be taught the judgment, the decisions that Yahweh has made that he wants mankind to execute. These things have to be taught to us through people, and most importantly through Rakah HaKodash, okay, which is the Holy Spirit. So we have to do, okay, we have to keep, and we have to learn the commandments, okay, and they have to be spoken, okay, into our ears. So we got to get these things. Now, Moshe set up the judges and the officers, as well as the Levites, to teach the laws and the commandments of Yahweh to the children of Yasharallah. It wasn't just everybody that woke up and found out they were an Israelite, went out on the street and started teaching the laws of the Most High. Laws of the Most High, because they have not been set up by the Most High to teach the laws of the Most High. That's why we're on every topic on the streets besides the laws of the Most High. You see? So the spiritual structure, and one of the spiritual indicators of being selected by Yahweh is being a law teacher fundamentally. Okay? And all of the brothers, all of the elders, the Zequanium, the Nagayadium, all right, the Shatarium of Banya Yasha'Allah understand with clarity the law of the Most High, okay, which is why at this point forward, we are the central Torah authority of Yasha'Allah, okay. From this point forward, we are the teachers of the instructions, the law of the children of Yasha'Allah, Torah Beni Yisrael, Torah Banya Yasharallah. Okay, so we claim that authority, and we claim that the execution of the laws of the Most High upon our people, for good, for bad, for better or for worse, bitter or sweet, in the name of Yahweh, Basham HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, with the stated goal and purpose of bringing everybody together under the laws of the Most High. So that's the paradigm we're looking at in Deuteronomy 5 and 1. The law is being spoken from Yahweh to Moshe. Moshe then speaks it to the judges and the officers that he talked about in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 11 through 21. Now, at the end of Moshe's life, he's speaking the law. Okay, he tells us that he's speaking the law in our ears again. And when we hear this law, immediately we have a lifelong obligation to learn them, to keep them, okay, and to do them. Keeping means to protect them, keep people from trampling upon them. Guardians of the law, just as you would guard your baby from danger. You're supposed to guard your own spirit, guard your family, and guard the, okay? So now let's go into verse 2. Yahweh Elohayim made a covenant with us in Horeb. Okay. Yahweh made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even all who are of us, even Salakia, even us who are all of us here alive today. Yahweh talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at that time to show you the word of Yahweh. For you were afraid by reason of the fire and went not up into the mount. Okay. So now when we read this history right here, Moses basically saying the Most High, I went up because y'all were afraid when Deuteronomy 20 happened. When Exodus 20 happened, and Most High gave us the 10 things called the 10 Commandments. They said, no, you go speak to Yahweh. And this happened in Mount Horeb. And at that point forward, Yahweh, we entered into a covenant with Yahweh. You Latino and black people, we made a covenant, an eternal covenant. Hicimos un pacto eterno con Yahweh. All right. So when we go into the book of Exodus, chapter 24, I'm going to read about the covenant that we made. Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. And he, Moses, took the book of the covenant, el libro del pacto, and read it in the audience of the people. Y lo leyó en la audiencia del pueblo. And they said, y ellos dijeron, all that Yahweh has said, todo que Yahweh ha dicho, we will do, obedeceremos a él. So we said, all that Yahweh said will we do and hear. So this is the covenant. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh has made with you concerning all these words. So Yahweh made a blood covenant with the children of Yashar'Allah. And that blood covenant cannot be broken. It's in our DNA. We inherited it from our fathers. So to this day, we are obligated to walk in his commandments, laws, and statutes, especially in this loose physical captivity that we're in right now. Okay? We're in a loose captivity. We were in very tight, hard bondage in the ancient times. Right now, we're in a loose bondage, a loose captivity in different nations. So we're still obligated to keep these commandments. Okay? Now we're going to go to verse 6. I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 6. All right. I am Yahweh Aliyah, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And when we go into the book of Revelation, it talks about that the spiritual Egypt, okay, the spiritual Sodom that the Most High is going to deliver us from. When we go into the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 10 and 11, it talks about the Most High is going to bring plagues upon Egypt again. The same as he brought the plagues upon the Egyptians in the ancient world, he's going to do that again. Okay. It says, thou shalt have none other Alahayim before me. So we're not supposed to be worshiping or dealing with any other gods at all, other than Yahweh. No other gods of Hinduism, no other gods of Islam or al-Islam, no other gods of Buddhism, no other gods of putting other saints and statutes and praying to them. We're not supposed to be doing any of those things. All right. So it says, thou shalt not make thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am Yahweh. For I, Yahweh Alahayaka, am a jealous Alahayim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So Yahweh says, do not make, do not bow down, do not have any images that we worship or bow down to. Statues, rocks. We're not supposed to venerate anything that's man-made. Okay? Nothing that's man-made we're supposed to venerate, prostrate to, or bow down to. This is why when we go into the history in the book of Daniel, they didn't bow down to the king, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Mishael, Yachanan, and Azariah are their Hebrew names. All right. Kananya, excuse me. Was it is Kananya, Mishael, and Azariah? They didn't bow down to the statue that the king of Babylon had made. Okay, we didn't bow down to those statues. So now we have to understand the fact that we're not supposed to be bowing down to anything. We're not supposed to be bowing down to any of these different images, idols, pictures, icons at all. No exception. We're not supposed to be saluting the Gentiles' flags, okay, things of that nature. So the Most High said, now if we want to disobey him, he's going to punish us up to the third and fourth generation. So for our wickedness, it can fall upon our children in a negative way. Okay, so now Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 10, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So when we keep Yahweh's commandments, he shows us mercy and he shows us grace, and our children inherit that mercy and that grace if they want it to be raised and to be taught in the laws, commandments, and statutes of Yahweh. So this is the generational thing that we inherit from the Most High. You see? So once we decide that we're going to walk in wisdom, then wisdom stays with us. It stays in our it stays in our family line. Okay. Now in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14, it says about wisdom. He shall set his children under her shelter, and shall lodge under her branches. By her he shall be covered from heat, and in her glory shall he dwell. See, when we deal with wisdom, we're protected from the heat. We're protected from those bad things, in life, totally destroying us or shaking our faith. You see, people think that wisdom is meant to conquer the world and reach the moon. No, wisdom is meant to keep you stable in the laws and the commandments of Yahweh, so you can grow strong in obedience to be able to reach the kingdom. Okay. Now there's other benefits to wisdom, but that's the primary purpose of wisdom. Okay. Give me a second. So our children inherit the wisdom that we deal with. All right. So the Most High shows us that mercy. So if you want your children, yourself, your family to be blessed by the Most High, you got to keep his commandments. Okay. You got to be obedient to his laws. Now we're going to continue on Deuteronomy chapter 5, and we're going to pick it up from verse 11. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless, which taketh his name in vain. So Yahweh will not allow you to misuse his name. You say, oh, I promised the Most High I'm going to do this. I promised the Most High I'm going to do that. And then you don't do it. And then you find a way to try to get out of it. You see? You find a way to get out of it. See, there's a difference between you making a vow or promise in the Most High's name and you just can't keep it. Or somebody finds out about it and they won't let you keep it. That's an authority over you. As opposed to you saying, I don't want to keep this no more. Let me find somebody that can make me break this. That's evil and wicked. So you can't take the Most High's name, in vain. Right? You can't take his name in vain. Okay. So now it says what? It says, keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as Yahweh Aliyah has commanded thee. Okay, which means what? Which means we are supposed to be guarding and protecting the Sabbath day as a holy day unto the Most High power. Okay, we're supposed to be worshiping him and keeping it as a holy day unto him, which means that this is the 6th day of the common week, so-called Friday to so-called Saturday night. And if you're not keeping the Sabbath on that time period, if you're trying to keep a lunar Sabbath, then you are an idolater. You're following the customs of the Babylonians. And in Deuteronomy chapter 10, we are clearly told not to learn the ways of the heathen and not to be dismayed at the signs of heaven. But you're following the moon and counting your Sabbath from the moon, and you become dismayed on the 6th day, the 7th day after this new moon, if you can't keep it as a Sabbath day. That's not right. The Sabbath day is every 7 days of the week since we left and since we were in the land of Israel. It hasn't changed. So if you have a brother or a sister that's violating the weekly Sabbath and keeping it according to the new moon, then the blood is on your hands if you haven't told them that's the wrong Sabbath. The right Sabbath is according to the week. 7 days in the week. Okay? So it says, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But on the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh Aliyah. Now we know we have Passover, or we have the day of atonement. We not keeping 7 days because the day of atonement is on the 10th day of the month, and it can fall on any day of the week. So there's going to be an interruption at some point of those 6 days of work. Okay, of those 6 days of work, and then we have the Passover starts on the 14th, 15th of Abib, and it's over on the 21st day of Abib. Then we're going to have an interruption of those 6 days of working at some point in time. Okay, so now 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh. Okay, in it thou shalt not do any work. So you cannot go to work, you cannot maintain a job, you cannot do things that are laborious, you cannot exchange, buy and sell, dealing with money, you cannot do business, you cannot go inside the store and buy yourself some Turkish coffee because you out teaching on a Sabbath day. You can't break the commandments. Even to Nehemiah, and there's also examples in Jeremiah, I believe, but in Nehemiah, when we came back into Jerusalem and we were rebuilding the wall, even around Jerusalem, and we told the people, yo, if you keep, the Gentiles were staying outside the gate. All right, we said, if you keep staying outside this gate, man, we got on you. Okay, we're gonna lay hands on you. So we had a couple of skirmishes with them. You know what I'm saying? We had a couple of skirmishes with them. Trying to reconnect. So we're waiting for the other. We need to get a signal connected over here on the another live broadcast. So let's give it a second. I'm gonna step away for a minute. Okay, so we got interrupted. This is part 2. All right, this is coming from the Central Torah Authority of Yasha Allah. This is coming from the Torah of Banya Yasharallah, from Banya Yasharallah, under Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahushai, trying to unite all camps, all groups, all organization, all bodies, all people of the diaspora under one power, one Torah, one Messiah. Where I left off was about the Shabbat day, and how people think that they can. Bana Mwana, can you do me a favor and share the broadcast to the Banya Yasharallah international page, please? If you can, I don't know if you can do that. Hit share and then into a group, and then Banya Yasharallah International. I appreciate that. But when we go into the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, okay? Nehemiah chapter 13, and we read in verse 21. It says, then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge you about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Shabbat. Okay, on the Shabbat. Now we look at the Shabbat. Began to be dark before the Sabbath. I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be open till after the Shabbat. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Shabbat day. So basically they were saying, we're gonna set these guards around the gate of Jerusalem on the Sabbath, and if anybody try to come in, we're gonna have to hurt them if they're trying to violate the Shabbat. See, that was a very serious thing, keeping the Sabbath. You can get killed in the ancient world if you violated the Sabbath. Now, not only that, but as the sun was going down, as it began to get dark on the gates of Jerusalem, meaning what? The shadow was getting long. The shadow was getting long. It was getting dark, meaning the sun was setting, but it wasn't fully set yet. You see? So when it's getting dark, it ain't the Sabbath yet. We see that from Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 19. When it's getting dark, it ain't the Sabbath yet. When it is dark, that's when it's the Sabbath. So all of this 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock stuff is not biblical. When it's dark outside, the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night. The moon controls the night. The Sabbath is when a new day starts, which is when it's dark outside. Okay, the evening and the morning were the first day, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth day. You see what I'm saying? So when you're keeping the Shabbat day, you keep it from the evening, the third part of the evening, which is the darkest part of the evening, as it goes into the nighttime. So that's when we begin the Sabbath. We don't begin the Sabbath as it begins to be dark. Nehemiah shut the gates as it began to be dark before el Dia de Reposo, before the day of rest, before HaShabbat. Okay, so in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, going back to verse 14, it says, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate, that thy manservant and thy maidservant will rest as well as thou. So the Most High said, rest your behind on the Shabbat. You and all your workers, your servants, whoever you have to rest on the Shabbat day. It's a commandment. It's a commandment. The Most High said, rest on that day. You and the cows that live among you, he's saying. You and the other servants that are a part of the place where you live at. Okay, so you can't be out there, working on the holy day. It's against the laws of the Most High. All right, it's against the laws of the Most High. And once again, if anybody is out there, can you please share this video to the Banya Yasha Allah International page if it hasn't been shared there yet? Okay. So everybody's supposed to rest on Shabbat day. Okay. Now verse 15. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt. So we're supposed to remember who was a servant in the land of Egypt. And on the Shabbat day, the land of Egypt, that's what comes to mind when we rest on the Shabbat day. That we were slaves, but now we can sit back and recline. And that Yahweh brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Okay. Therefore Yahweh Alahayaka commanded thee to keep the Shabbat day. So he commanded us to keep the Shabbat day. One of the reasons is that he brought us out of Egypt. Okay. One of the reasons is that we were brought out of the land of bondage. All right. And he wants us to keep that day holy now. All right. So we keep that day holy as part of him sanctifying us. It's part of him helping to make us clean, make us more pure before him. So we have to keep the Sabbath there. Tenemos que guardar el séptimo día como un día de reposo, un día santo. From Friday night, de la noche en viernes, until Saturday night, hasta la noche de sábado. Después, o cuando se mete el sol, when the sun is fully set. Cuando está oscuro, when it's dark, empezamos el día de reposo. We begin the day of rest, HaShabbat. So Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16. Honor thy father and thy mother, as Yahweh Alahayaka has commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee in the land which Yahweh Alahayaka giveth thee. So he says to honor your father and your mother, to submit to them, okay, to respect them, to do what they say to do. All right, to walk in the laws and commandments and the statutes of Yahweh, to show respect for your parents. That's one of the greatest forms of respect you can show your parents, is to be obedient to your creator, and then secondly, be obedient to them. That's how you honor your father and your mother. You don't go out. A lot of men and women make themselves whores, whoremongering, all right, doing things that you wouldn't do if your mother and father was watching you. That's dishonor your mother and father. So if you know you're doing something that you wouldn't do in front of your mother or in front of your father, you know what I'm saying, that's wrong, you dishonor your parents. And the Most High said, you don't dishonor your parents. He said to honor your parent. You see what I'm saying? So you're supposed to keep the commandments of Yahweh and walk in obedience to your father and to your mother. That's the laws of Yahweh, the God of Israel. He said to keep the commandments and obey your and honor your father and your mother. Okay. Now in Deuteronomy 17, thou shalt not kill. When it says thou shalt not kill right here, is thou shalt not murder. Meaning you shall not take a life unjustifiably. Meaning you are in danger and nobody else is in danger. That's the only time you're really supposed to take you in danger, or you're about to be in danger. Like if we're in the last days, and somebody about to leave, and we run out of gas somewhere, and somebody say, yeah, I know I can go get some people, and I'm gonna go and get them, and we can come back and rob these people for their gas, for their cars, for their food, for their ham radios, for everything. Well, if that person get killed trying to leave the group and put the rest of the members in danger, that ain't murder. That's self-defense. All right, but it's preemptive. So if you tell somebody you about to put them in harm's way and kill them, and they kill you first, I don't see how that's murder. You defending yourself. The minute you see somebody drawing for a gun out their holster, or somebody say, man, I'm about to go get my gun, they leave and walk away from you. I'm about to go get my gun and I'm gonna kill you. You kill that person, that's fair. What's not fair is if you kill that person and they didn't say nothing about harming you, they didn't say nothing about killing you, but you have the right to defend yourself. Tú tienes derecho para defenderse contra de cualquier como oprimido o cualquier como opresión, whatever oppression against that comes against you. All right, that you can defend yourself. So murder is when you're not justified in your actions. Murder is when you, without guile, the person have no guilt towards you. The person have no intention to harm you or to kill you, and then you kill that person. You take their life. You ain't supposed to do that. Okay, that's wicked. All right, you shall not murder. All right, neither shalt thou commit adultery. All right, what is adultery? There's different forms of adultery we're going to go into right now. Adultery, adulteria, primero, first, cuando una mujer casada se duerme con otro hombre, when a married woman sleeps with another man. That's the first we're going to talk about. The second we're going to talk about is when un hombre, el hombre que se duerme con la mujer casada, the man that sleeps with the married woman. That's another form of adultery. Okay, if a man is married and he sleeps with a single woman, that's not adultery, that's fornication. Con una mujer casada, una mujer soltera, no es adultería, es una forma básica de fornicación. Pero todavía los dos son pecados, pero uno merece muerte y el otro que no. Both of them are sins, but one deserves death and the other one doesn't deserve death. But now the two of them will keep you out of the kingdom. Okay. Now Deuteronomy chapter 19. Neither shalt thou steal. Daganab, you shall not steal. That means you should not take something that doesn't belong to you outside of the course of war, let's say, for example. Because if I'm on a war rampage and I'm going against this nation, and I see some of these soldiers on the side of the road, all right, and I take something that's theirs for my own troops' survival, use, and benefit, that's not stealing, that's warfare. So stealing is walking in the righteous statutes of a particular country, and you agree to the terms of entrance into these people's land. And then you go and take something from them without their permission, without their consent. That's stealing. But if you come into my house and you steal what's mine, me taking it back from you could never be stealing. That's called me taking back what's mine. All right, so let's make that clear. Particularly when you're dealing with people and you're an honorable person, you don't take nothing from that person through deceit or through guile. You trying to trick somebody out of money, giving somebody a false pretense to give you money, that's stealing. You're taking it without honor. You're taking something without a righteous consent from that person. Now, a husband cannot steal from anybody that's under his care and custody. Meaning if a woman have $5 in her purse and the husband takes out $1 without telling her, that ain't stealing. You see, now how that relationship works in the reverse with the man and the woman is up to that man. But everything that belongs to the woman belongs to the man. Okay? In other words, a father cannot kidnap his own children, but the mother can. Let's talk about stealing people now. The child belongs to the father, according to the Bible. So if you take that man's child away from him because the American court system or the Brazilian court system makes you think that that child belongs to the mother and not to the father, which is a law in the United States of America, that woman is committing a sin against the Most High. That's why they had to make it a law, because it's not a natural law. So you don't got to make things laws that are natural laws. But everybody knew before the 40s, before the 30s, you know, that the child was the property of the father. Everybody knew that. But American government changed it and made the child the property of the mother. And that's against the Bible. All right. So my point was that you can't steal something that's yours, and you can't steal something that was wickedly, unjustly taken away from you. But if you go into, you know, somebody's house and you see something laying around and you want it and you put it in your pocket, all right, that's stealing. Right? Taganab. You can't do that. Okay? Neither, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 20. Neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. And we have this going on a lot right now in Israel. Meaning what? Meaning that men from a council, men from an organization, men from a camp will get together and say, well, yeah, this brother did this and this brother did that. And they'll all join together and say, well, here's what we're going to do to that brother. Without hearing witnesses, without seeing evidence, without processing the claim in the local gates. They just take it upon themselves. And they all say, okay, we witnesses, this person did this wrong and this was going to happen to him. And then the Most High brings the punishment on them. You see, the punishment is going to come. Whether it comes quick or whether it comes slow, it's still going to come. So you can't bear false witness against your neighbor. You can't say somebody did something because you saw it posted on social media or because somebody told you that that's what happened. All right. You need witnesses to say that it happened. You need two witnesses for a sin. Right. So you cannot just bear false witness. You cannot say that you identify somebody as a person that committed a certain act if you're not 100% certain as a witness that this thing happened. I don't care. Why would they lie? They don't have no reason to lie, which is besides the point. The point is that you need a witness. Okay. Thou shalt not desire thy neighbor's wife. Now that means that if you see a man, he's betrothed to a woman, or he has a woman, you're not supposed to desire that man's wife. Now, this is a situation that is near and dear to me because this happened to me. I had one of my own brothers that I taught the Bible to, that I taught you got to believe in Paul, the writings of Paul and the whole Bible. Gave the brother a foundation in the Torah. All right. And I had a woman that made that had written. We had a betrothal that was verifiable by writing, by communication with each other, and confirmed by witnesses. And the brother coveted my woman. And the brother tried to go to the father and have the father undo any promises that the woman had made to me, trying to use Deuteronomy chapter 30, Numbers chapter 30, verses 3 and 4. But the woman was not in her father's house. Number two, she was a woman. Number three, the scripture says in her youth, and the woman was not in her youth. All right, the woman was in her 20s. And 20s, in the time that the Bible was written, in the 1400s BC, 20, 22, 25, 23 was not a young in her youth. You was like an old maid back then if you didn't have a husband at that time period. You see what I'm saying? So when you covet, it leads you to do other sins to try to get your hands on something that you don't have a right to. And people will try to use the Bible to do that. Okay. But number one, the law specifically states that when a woman's father hears the vow, then he can disannul it and say, no, you don't got to do that vow. It don't say that the woman goes to look for her long lost father. All right. Because you already broke the first commandment. You already coveted. So now anything as a result of that is a sin. You broke the law to do that. So it don't stand. You coveted until the man dies. Give you an example. David coveted Bathsheba. Then he committed adultery with Bathsheba. No matter what he did with Bathsheba after that, it was a sin. So if your intention is wicked and evil, then the outcome is going to continue to be wicked and evil until it's able to be rectified by the terms of the law. All right. So you can't covet your neighbor's wife. You can't see your brother's woman at a summit, or your brother's woman at a gift family event, or your brother's woman at a cookout, or your brother's woman at a holy day celebration up in New York and say, oh man, that brother woman look good. Yo, man, that sister look good. Damn, I want her for myself. That's wicked. And that's what a lot of brothers are doing in Israel, man. And that's what a lot of these women are passing around from man to man. All right. And a lot of women are coveting other women's husbands for sex. Not for a righteous marriage, but just for sex. Okay. So the law says don't covet your neighbor's wife. And that word wife right there, okay, in the Hebrew, it means woman. All right. So you can't covet your woman's, your brother's woman, flat out, point blank. Okay. Neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house. You say, man, I want to try to get this brother out of this building so I can get it. I want to try to get this brother out of this house so I can have it. I'm going to offer him any amount of money to buy this house, any amount of money to live in this house. It don't matter if you offer him money or not. You see, This comes right after, right in the same breath of stealing. Because once you covet something, you're going to try to take it. And if you take it by being slick, by being evil, and thinking you being fair, then you've stolen. Okay? So you can't, huh, mama? I ate a gum. A gum? Yes. Okay, mama. Chicle? Yes. You got chicle? Yes. Okay. So you can't covet. You can't try to, you can't try to get something that's not yours, that belongs to somebody else. I mean, flat out. All right. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his ox, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. So the Bible says you cannot covet, desire for yourself anything that belongs to somebody else. You can't covet it, because covet leads to is also the relative of jealousy. Now you want something that somebody else has, and you willing to do what it takes to get that thing. Okay, and once again, this is not some just like an Old Testament sin. I seen this thing happen to me, man. I seen this thing happen to me. I seen a brother coveting my woman, and the brother took the woman and conspired with the in the conspiracy to commit the sin, because neither one of them, neither three, had understanding of the Torah. So they all three were together to achieve the goal that the woman wanted to achieve. Go ahead, mama. That the woman wanted to achieve, and then the man wanted to achieve through covetousness, and then got the father involved so he could allow them to think that they justified in breaking the law. But they not. You see? But they not justified. They sinning. So you can't covet your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's anything. Okay? Your neighbor's anything, you cannot covet it. All right? You cannot covet it. So these are the words that the Most High have shown to us on this day from the Torah. All right? Keep the Sabbath day as a holy day. All right? Keep the Sabbath as a holy day. Honor your father and mother. Don't murder people. Now, we in warfare and you kill them, or somebody's coming for you and you kill the traitor, or you kill the person coming for you. That's not murder. That's war. All right? And we have certain rules at war. Once a person shows that they are against us and they willing to do what they need to do to kill us, then they then you make yourself an enemy of the children of Israel. Give an example. If okay, mama, no te lo puedo dar ahora. Pregunta, here. So if you if you see the police, drawing down on your man, on your woman, the police trying to, murder somebody that you love or somebody you don't love. The police trying to murder your brother or your sister, man. You got an obligation to defend them. That ain't murder. That's self-defense, right, Shakata? That's you defending yourself. Okay? That's you defending yourself and defending your people. Te doy un poco de... No, dame su taza. Okay, so that's you defending your people. So let's get it understood. Murder is different than self-defense. Okay? Killing a person, you can do it, 3 ways. You can do it on accident. You can do it on purpose, and you mean to do it because that person was going to harm you, or you can do it on purpose maliciously, and that person didn't mean you. So that's the summary of the law. And for this particular summary, I want everybody to see if they can read Proverbs chapter 90 is the Torah portion. For this particular week, and that's the Torah portion for Waahthachaanan, or that's the Torah portion. So once again, in your house, man, and sisters, read these laws. You got to read these commandments. Waahthachaanan, Psalms 90. You got to read these laws, and you got to read these commandments so that you can get a better understanding of Yahushua. Now, Yahushua, this is the other form of adultery, at the water of the Most High through Yahushua. For me, not forgetting this, the other form of adultery is when you're a man that's married to a woman, and you want to divorce your woman, but your woman has not committed adultery against you or fornication against you. You divorce her anyway, and then you remarry your woman. That's adultery, because you didn't have a right to divorce that woman because she didn't commit fornication against you. Physical fornication. You got some brothers talking about you can divorce a woman for spiritual fornication. That's of the devil. That's of the devil, man. That's what is that? What scripture talks about spiritual fornication? I want to see it in the law. I want to see it in the law. Everything else. Remember, that's why your ass got to be into these laws, man. Because if you ain't into these laws of the Most High, man, nigga could tell you anything, man. You run off and believe it just because he got some eloquent, smooth words and a nice vocabulary, man. Or he got charisma and you believe in him. You ain't supposed to believe anything that go outside this law, man. That's what you're supposed to meditate in his word day and night. This Bible shows us what is adultery and what is the reason for divorce. All right. The Bible shows you. Christ Yahushua, he shows you. So cursed be the man that goes outside the word of the Most High. It goes outside the words of the anointed Savior. May a curse be upon you, man, if you going outside and you deviating from the words of Yahweh. That's Satan's job, man. All right. So now, if a woman is married to a husband and she commits fornications against him, or she don't commit fornication against him, and then she divorces the man or the man divorces her, it is what it is. So now that woman goes out and remarries. That's adultery. Read in the book of Matthew chapter 5 and Matthew chapter 19, and then also read the book of Mark chapter 10, and it shows you what adultery is in this time period we live in now. So now, anytime that breach, so in other words, anytime that breach between a man and a woman happens, all right, because of the woman's adultery, that woman cannot remarry, but the man, he can remarry. Now, if a man puts a breach between him and a woman, or if a woman puts a breach between her and the man, okay, and the woman didn't commit any type of adultery, and the man allows that breach, he can't remarry. So in other words, let's say the woman come and say, I'm tired of you, I hate you, you make me sick, you get on my nerves, I hate your stinky, filthy, wicked guts, calls him all these nasty names, and hits him and throw a frying pan upside his head and tries to do all kind of evil against him, drives his car into a lake, all kind of evil she do against the man, and comes to the man and say, I want a divorce right now, and spit in his face. He can't divorce until she commits a physical fornication against him. It ain't about your feelings, man. It's about what the law says, what Yahushua said. So if he divorces that woman because she presses him to divorce her, he signed his own papers to be single because he can't remarry again because he divorced his wife for a sin other than fornication. You see? So we have to be very careful when we're dealing with adultery. We got to be very careful when we're dealing with marriage and divorce and separation. Okay? We got to be very careful because women are very, it's like a lot of y'all Israelite women have hopped on this Me Too movement. Oh, this guy did this guy did that. Okay? And then you hopped on this Me Too movement. But what about the Most High's law? Fit that into your movement. Fit that into what you're saying. Because last I read in Genesis chapter, in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, it say, "Unto thy husband shall be thy desire. Thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." So show me one woman who has her desire to her husband, and he rules over her, and she allows him to rule over her. Show me one woman like that that has a problem with her husband being evil or wicked toward her. And the man is trying to walk and deal in the laws of the Most High. Show me one. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. You can't do it. It don't exist. Because if you dealing in the laws of the Most High, and that man is dealing in the laws of the Most High, you're gonna understand what it is before y'all come together. Now, if you hopped into something before you fully understood that person, that's your fault as a man and your fault as a woman, and you need to take responsibility for your own actions. You see, ain't nobody forcing nobody to open their legs to have sex with each other. And then you don't get along, and then it's the person's fault when you don't get along. It may be the person's fault, but this ain't your first rodeo. You was no virgin when you got with that person. You knew what you was dealing with, and you knew what was expected from a lifelong perspective with that person. So now you want to try to end that relationship. Now you're getting into the sins of fornication and adultery and being out of order with the man and the Most High. So when you're talking about a Me Too movement, you got to talk about Me Too walking in the laws of the Most High that he gave the woman from Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Yeah, the man has a fair amount of culpability to carry in the failure of a relationship. But most men would tell the woman, hey, look, you out of order right now. The Most High didn't say to do that. And the woman would try to maybe check the man and say, well, the Most High ain't say do this and do that and do that. And the third also. And then remain out of order. All right? And remain out of order. You know, that's like you overweight. Or that's like you got diabetes. And you got diabetes and you eating too much sugar. And I'm smoking crack. And I'm telling you, hey, man, you shouldn't be eating all that sugar. You're like, well, you shouldn't be smoking that crack. Or the person that got the diabetes, like, look, man, you ain't supposed to be smoking that crack. And they tell you, well, you shouldn't be eating that sugar. You see what I'm saying? One is way out of order that can come back. One, the Most I got a major problem with. All right. And a man exercising his authority in his relationship should not lead to adultery or should not lead to sin. You see, if it leads to sin and he's doing what's right in the eyes of the Most High in his relationship, then what's the problem? You know, what's the problem? All right. Let me go into the Regalia Dawada. It says, wait, what scripture is a man ain't supposed to marry again because we divorced? No, I didn't say that. What I said was that if a man divorces a woman and she didn't commit fornication against him and he marries another, then he commits adultery. Matthew chapter 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving, meaning except for, the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. All right. So that's one. And then in Matthew chapter 19. All right, Matthew chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery. So that's Matthew 19:9, meaning what? If you divorce a woman, but the woman didn't commit fornication against you, so if you remarry, you commit adultery. If she remarries, she commit adultery. But if you divorce the woman because of fornication that she committed against you, you can still remarry, but she can't. Okay, I never heard of that portion of scripture. I heard that if we divorce a woman, they can't marry. Yeah. But there's a no matter what the woman is divorced for, she can never remarry. If she had a righteous marriage. Some women have a marriage, but it's not a righteous marriage. Okay. Now for the man can remarry. The only restriction is that he divorced that woman for a reason other than fornication. That's when he cannot remarry. But if he divorced the woman because of fornication, then yes, he can remarry the woman. I mean, he can't remarry another woman. He can get married again. Okay, he can get married again. But if he divorced that woman and that woman, didn't commit adultery against him, okay, he can't remarry. He can't remarry. He can't remarry, man. So you understand now, Regalia Dawada? Okay, I hope that was a little more clear for you. All right. So now when we get into the Sabbath, the scripture says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. So if you got brothers that's trying to say that the new moon is the Sabbath, that ain't the Sabbath. We all know it. We all know it. And them brothers are violating the law. So you need to correct those brothers. And if the brothers don't want to be corrected, you let them do what they're going to do. You got to correct the brothers, man. No matter how big or how small they are in this truth, you got to correct them. Okay, you got to correct them. But first and foremost, we got to what? We got to establish the law. That's what we got to do. That's the Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the law through faith? Yahweh forbid. Yea, we establish the law. So we got to establish the law, y'all. Which means what? We got to set this law up. As Israelites, we got to say, this is the law, man. And if you don't want to walk in it, you can walk that way to the left. Period. I love my brothers. I love my brothers that's into Egyptology. I love my brothers that's keeping that Babylonian crescent moon. And I love my brothers and my sisters that's keeping that Babylonian Sabbath according to the new moon. I love all of them. But all of them wrong. And that's why Banya Yasha'Allah had to become the central Torah authority of Yasha'Allah. That's why we had to become the Torah Banya Yasha'Allah, the law of the children of Israel. As Banya Yasha'Allah. That's why we had to seek out brothers from different walks of the Torah and bring them to the table and say, hey, this is what we need to be doing, and how can we make it better for our people? And we have a strategy, a spiritual strategy that the Holy Spirit is revealing and unfolding daily, of bringing all Yasha'Allah on one accord with the law. Because if you haven't studied them 613 laws, then you don't know the law. You don't know the law. Say shalom. Say shalom. Say shalom. Say shalom, round head. Okay. Did you get a Waahthachaanan? Okay. So this little girl, she raised in the law, man. She raised in the Torah. She Yasha'Allah. She walk around the house all day singing songs to Yahweh. You see how her face is now, right? Now watch this. Shema Yasha'Allah. Yahweh Allah now Yahweh Akkad. Yahweh Akkad. Come on, sing. Shema Yasha'Allah. Yahweh. Okay, you don't want to sing now? Okay, mama. Our people got to be raised in the law. So if you don't know the 613 laws, if you ain't walking in the laws that we can walk in of the 613, let me rewind that. When I say you can't walk in the laws that we can walk in, what I'm talking about is we can't do the sacrificial laws outside Yahweh Shalom, and we can't do the laws pertaining to the temple outside Yahweh Shalom. Those are laws I'm talking about when I'm talking about the laws we can do. Bravo, Ivan. Shalom. 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 Bravo, Ivan. Bravo, Ivan. Shalom. So what I'm talking about is the laws that we can walk in. We have to walk in all of the laws of the Most High, of Yahweh. Okay, we have to walk in all of the laws of the Most High. And I mean, frankly, I've been dealing with Yasha'Allah since January 1994, and at this point, I really haven't seen a lot of brothers and sisters really pushing hardcore compliant to the law, to the point where when I want to think about the law, bam, I can go to these brothers, because these brothers are really tight on the law and on Yahweh Shah. All right. The man that I think had the elder that had the greater love of the nation and the love of Yahweh Shah in his spirit was one of the brothers of Tawam, priest Zaquan Tawam. Haven't seen him a while lately. I'm a few hours away from him. But that brother had the love of Hamashiach. He had a sincere zeal for, Hamashiach. All right. And that same token, we want our brothers and sisters to have zeal for the Torah also. We want them to have a respect for the Torah, because that's the foundation of what we stand on as a nation. So we, Banya Yasha'Allah are the central Torah authority for Yasha'Allah. Why? Because we teaching and pushing full compliance up until homelessness, up until you being fired, up until you losing your wife and losing your children, to obey these commandments. You got to obey the commandments and choose the commandments and choose the love of Yahweh over everything. You see? So we got the little shirts that says Yah over everything. All right? But is it Yah over everything when I'm not keeping his commandments because there's something else that I want, that I don't want to lose, or that I'm trying to protect more? You see, we're supposed to guard and protect the Torah, the Torah, the word of Yahweh above all else. All right. So when we look at these 10 commandments show us a framework of obedience that it's easy to deviate out off of because we don't really look at the commandments from that perspective of the 10. Okay, daily, the law about the Shabbat is a law about what? Remembering to sanctify and to respect and keep holy all of the set apart days that Yahweh have created. That's the principle of that law. Passover, the new moon, things of that nature. We're supposed to keep those things holy in the eyes of Yahweh. That's the Shabbat. So these days that he gave us are days of worship, right? Days of rest. You're supposed to fully honor. When it comes to your parents, man, a lot of y'all disrespect your parents, man. You talk bad about your parents behind their backs. Your parents might have been on drugs. Your parents might not have given you what you wanted growing up. Shoot, your parents might not even like you, right? Your parent might be an alcoholic, right? Your parent might be into homosexuality. Your parent might be a pedophile or something. Most I say you always got to honor your parents, meaning what? Do what is right in his eyes toward them, and don't give them if your parent is doing something wrong, find a delicate way to say it to them. Don't hold back your sword, but don't talk to them as if you're talking to your child, man, because that's ugly in the eyes of the Most High. You talk to your mother and your father with respect, man. You don't talk to your father and your mother, in a disrespectful, in a demeaning, derogatory, condescending way. Because they're not in these laws, parents, and statutes. You feel like you can talk to your parents any kind of way, man. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Okay? Let the Most High deal with certain things. And you just be obedient to him. All right? See any other questions up there I missed? All right, so that coveting thing is very, very serious. Don't covet, man. If you see a man and you see a woman he got, don't covet. Don't covet. All right, so that brother out there, man, and a lot of people know who the brother is. I haven't really spoke on it publicly, but I will. And for all Israel to know, to mark this brother, man. Brother went, behind my back and tried to take a woman that was betrothed to me, a woman that had, given herself to me in the eyes of the Most High Power, a woman that shared intimacies with me as a betrothed, okay, as a betrothed. As a betrothed. You see what I'm saying? And basically was my wife. Just hadn't signed no papers. All right, but basically was my wife, through act and through word. But we wanted to have a formal service, signing papers in front of everybody to make it official, quote unquote. And the brother don't know about all of that, I'm assuming. The brother haven't spoken to me about that. And the brother went and basically took my betrothed, man. And now the brother's out trying to join somebody else's organization. You know what I'm saying? Gonna spread that same spirit over there to the other brothers' organization, man. So we got to mark these brothers among us that cause these type of divisions within households, man. Within households, causing these types of division and then puffing themselves out as if they really representing the best interest of the people of the Most High. When you wronged they wronging their own brother. You wronged your own brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have nothing in my heart against the brother. I wish him no ill will. I just want justice in the eyes of the Most High. And I want justice for the woman that conspired with him to come against her own household and be with this man. That's violating, the commandment of coveting another man's woman. Why would you take a woman to her father to try to get him to undo some type of vow when the woman is living in your house and you trying to have sex with her? That's coveting. That's some grimy ish. That's straight up coveting. Ain't no way around it, man. You know, and I'll tell you one thing, man. That's what I like about the brothers. My brothers in places like India, they don't play that, man. You brothers in America, man, y'all brothers are thirsty, and y'all brothers are trying to snatch a man's woman from up under him, right under his nose, man. Won't think nothing of it. But our brothers in other countries, man, they got a little more dignity and a little more honor than that. When you go into Pakistan and you go to the brothers in India, I've lived among these brothers. I've been in their houses. I've squatted over their toilets. I've eaten from their plates with my hands. So I know these brothers intimately, man. And I know that the way you brothers in America conduct yourself in relationship and the rules you make up as you go along to suit your own lust and your own desire is filthy and is wicked and it stinks in the nostrils of the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that we gotta look at when we coveting. You know, brothers see another brother in a position of leadership to the people of Yasha, and brothers will do all in their power to try to bring you out of that. Brothers try to do everything in their power to try to defame you because they coveting your position. Well, if you want the position that another brother has, man, put in the work to do it, man. That's all you got to do. If you want the advantage or you want the position that another brother has in Israel, man, it ain't hard, bro. Put in your work. Teach the word of the Most High. Teach the commandments of the Most High. Pray and fast to the Most High. Make the Most High pleased. And then the Most High will give you what he wants you to have to do what he wants you to do for his people. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of the leadership that we have in Israel right now, man, I'm going to tell you something, and you take it like you want it. It's actually set up by Satan. Because a lot of the leadership that we have right now is pulling people away from the Most High. It's pulling people into more disobedience. It ain't pulling people toward doing the right things in the eyes of the Most High. It's making people feel justified about being evil, meaning you making a good excuse to break the commandments of the Most High. So the Most High ain't set up nothing like that. Satan set that up, man. So have these Israelite people out here, man. Satan set y'all up, man. Most High ain't set you up. You making excuses. You cutting corners. You trying to say why we don't got to keep this law or that law, you know, in captivity. You saying you don't want to come together with this brother and that brother. You don't want to sit down and study and really rehearse the Torah. That ain't set up by the Most High, man. That's set up by Satan. The Most High, that author of confusion. We got one law for the stranger and one law for the children of Israel. So how you don't keep that law, how you don't dive in and study that law that the Most High gave us, man. Okay, shalom, mi amado de Yahweh, los amo, ¿sí? Nosotros amamos a ti también, a Zamara, y que las bendiciones de Yahweh estén con ustedes, con tú, y con su familia, con su hogar, allá en la Colombia. Hallelujah. Okay? So we have to really understand, man, this coveting thing and this leadership in Israel, people coveting the spotlight, people coveting the attention, coveting the temporal fame. Well, when the ish hits the fan in America, and when social media shuts down, it ain't going to be the internet that sustains you. It's going to be the leadership that's obedient to the Most High that's going to sustain you. So that's what we got to look at. El liderazgo que obedece los mandamientos son los líderes verdaderos. Los líderes que hacen razones por qué está bien para desobedecer los mandamientos de Yahweh, esos no son los líderes del Altísimo. Ellos no son los líderes que requerimos, que necesitamos. Ellos son los líderes que nos da Satanás. Porque Satanás siempre quiere alejarte de los mandamientos del Altísimo Yahweh. Y esa es como la marca pura de los que siguen como el Cordero, el Pastor bueno, el Altísimo, los que hacen y los que creen y los que enseñan de Yahweh. Y con eso se acabó la porción de la Torah. And with that, we're going to end the Torah portion. Ojalá que podamos cumplir otra como enseñanza en español sobre la lección de hoy de Waahthachaanan o Waahthachaanan Deuteronomio capítulo 5, versículo 1 a 22. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1 through 21. And who thought, right? Who thought that the 10 Commandments could go into so much details? Okay. But that's it. Once again, it's the foundation. If we follow these, man, you know, we'll do very good. If we just keep these 10 Commandments. All right, now we about to shut down. Who's running the elder that's in the Nagaya right now that's in charge in Columbus is Banyawada. And then from Banyawada, you have two other brothers right now that are at the forefront, which are going to be Shamar and Yahawashai. You got Shamar and Yahawashai, all right, in Columbus right now, running it, or the administrator, the leader in Columbus right now, dealing with Banya Yasharallah, is Banyawada, all right. So yeah. So anyway, man, yeah, might be, you know, this brother right here, Nujin Tuan. What is what's he talking about, man? Russian letters. And so maybe looks like brother in Pakistan got somebody from Russia that's messaging us. All right, so you got that, Dawad. It's Banyawada. All right. So now I'm gonna leave here now. I'm gonna go do a live video from for Banya Yashalala inside of the actually I probably won't do that live video right now. So anyway, any more questions before we shut it down for the night? All right, Makshaw. What's up, King? These aren't real marriages. In America, these are feminine versions of marriages. Hope everyone. Oh, Khan, Shalom. What's going on, Makshaw? Yeah, these ain't real marriages, man. Yeah, you're right, man. You know, these are female versions of marriages, feminism version of marriages that takes away the power of the man and the household and gives it into the government and gives it to the, to the woman to control the household and to be the one that's the inheritor of the children, you know, and the inheritor of the, everything in that relationship, you know, for real, you know, if you want to keep it 100. So yeah, what's going on, Makshaw? We good down here, man. You know, good to see you on here. Hit me on I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to find your number, man, and give you a call, Makshaw. I didn't see you because we was over on the Facebook side, man. On the Facebook side, so I'm gonna. But yeah, man, good to see you though. For real, much love to you. Any more questions over here? Don't look like it. Bruh, when I don't understand what you're saying, man. You have to do it. Translate what you're saying into English or something. All right. All right. So, no more questions. We're gonna sign off of here. Thank everybody for coming into that Torah portion today. All praise to the Most High. Bashem HaMashiach Yahushai. Shalom Lekam.